Because Trump is the crook that they thought all politicians were, but he comes.
But the thing is he's an honest crook, mate. It's like there's no, you know what I'm saying? He's not hiding it. You know, you say that, oh, Biden sounded like a statesman. Like, that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's not.
Right.
It's somebody who spent their life being a...
Some political arguments sound convincing right up until someone starts asking basic questions. And that's exactly what we're about to see in this exchange between James O'Brien and a passionate Donald Trump supporter. What begins as a confident defense quickly turns into a much more uncomfortable conversation once the questioning starts. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, this may be an older clip, but it's still one of the most revealing political debates you'll come across. As James O'Brien starts pressing for evidence and clear answers, the discussion takes a turn that few people saw coming. Let's watch the exchange and see how it all unfolds. Now, let's get into it.
They think they're all crooks. It doesn't matter. And for people to scoff and say, oh, well, there's no proof of that. Oh, it can't be true.
Yes.
I'm sorry, man. I just think that's a little bit naive. Yeah, I mean,
so you're talking about an environment of because Trump is the crook that they thought all politicians were, but he comes.
But the thing is he's an honest crook, mate. It's like there's no, you know what I'm saying? He's not hiding it. You know, you say that, oh, Biden sounded like a statesman. Like, that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's not.
Right.
It's somebody who spent their life being a polished liar, taking corporate agenda and pushing it through.
Are you describing what you?
These are not good things.
Are you describing what you think now, or what you think they think?
This is what I believe, and this is what I've spoken to many of my friends back in America. We talk about these things, you know. And you've got the whole media juggernaut as well.
If I asked you to persuade me that Joe Biden was a polished liar, what would you do?
I just pointed his 50-year career.
Yeah, well, go on.
How else could he possibly stay in power? I mean, this is the whole
that's
thing
a
about
question.
Trump,
That's a question, not an answer.
From outside.
No, I know, but I just want you to.
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't have any facts because I didn't know anything about Joe Biden before I heard his name as the elector.
But you're absolutely certain that he spent half a century lying.
If he's a politician, he's been in the job for that long. I don't see how he could avoid it.
But you just said you'd never heard of him before last year.
I don't need to hear.
I mean, he was vice president.
This is what I think of average American.
Shouting louder doesn't make any more sense because he was vice president for 8 years.
Right. Again, I'd never heard of him.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of him.
I mean, is it fair to suggest? Is it fair to suggest that you may not be the best qualified commentator on American politics?
I'm just trying to give you a look into.
And I am. You've given me a very interesting look, Jim.
I'm the average person as well.
You may be, but you've admitted you know absolutely nothing, but you're certain of your prejudices.
I'm certain that this is the way that it's going to be looked at by the people like Trump's followers.
No, that's why I said to you, are you telling me what you think, or are you telling me what you think they think?
I'm telling you what I think. I'm telling
you think that Joe Biden
between my friends that I've spoken to about the subject.
I understand that. I mean, I find it horrible what you're describing, but I don't think you're lying. I think you're being honest. So you can look at Donald Trump and see what you described as an honest crook, and there is all the evidence of his wrongdoing that goes back 50 years, and you know, we could make a list. We'd be here until Christmas.
Yep, the man's got immense character flaws.
Not character flaws, criminality.
I do not think he's a good person.
But then you've got Joe Biden over there, and you've got no evidence whatsoever of his malfeasance or misbehaviour, but you're absolutely convinced he's a wrong 'un. So would you mind if I...
Again, I would refer back to the Panorama program that I saw, which appalled me.
Yes, but was he in it?
A news crew can go over, pretend to be a lobbyist.
But was Joe Biden in? Was Joe Biden in it?
No.
So
he was not in it.
I've got two questions. Do you recognise on any level how ridiculous you sound? And I say that affectionately.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I suppose so. So now.
And the second question is who did this to you? Where do you think this came from? Because you weren't born like this. At some point in the last 50 years, you've become a man who's absolutely convinced of things, despite having no evidence for it whatsoever. How do you think that happened?
Because I have been pulled over, and I have had police in America rewrite the arrest report. And I've had basically lies told in court about me, and I have had trouble in America.
And that's how you know that Joe Biden is not to be trusted.
This is my personal experience with the establishment.
Oh, being pulled over by police in America.
That's right.
Okay. Well, it's been interesting talking to you,
I had
Jim.
a can of beer. I had a can of beer that was unopened.
There's more. Yes.
Unopened in my car.
Yes.
And they wrote it up as an open container. And I ended up with a DUI.
And that's how you know that Joe Biden is corrupt.
Looking back at that exchange, it's honestly fascinating how little some things have changed. Even though that clip is a few years old, the broader point still feels incredibly relevant today. What we just watched wasn't simply a disagreement over politics, it was a clear example of how political loyalty can sometimes become stronger than the evidence itself. What stood out to me wasn't the criticism of Joe Biden. Politicians get criticized every single day. That's nothing new. What stood out was how confidently certain accusations were being made without any real proof being presented to support them. At the same time, actions or controversies involving Donald Trump were being viewed through a completely different lens. And that's where these conversations become so revealing. Once people become deeply invested in defending a political figure, it can become difficult to apply the same standards across the board. Suddenly, evidence matters in one situation but not another. Questions that would normally be asked simply disappear. And that's when political discussions stop being about facts and start becoming about loyalty. The reality is that this isn't unique to one side of politics. We've seen it happen across the political spectrum, but moments like this stand out because they expose those contradictions in real time. When someone is asked to explain their position in detail, the strength of that position is put to the test. That's why exchanges like this continue to get attention years after they first aired. They remind us that strong opinions are easy to express, but defending those opinions under scrutiny is a completely different challenge. But that's just my take. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did James O'Brien make a compelling point, or do you think the caller was treated unfairly? I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.